Many Jamaicans do not think the government handled the corruption issues at the Caribbean Maritime University and the Ministry of Education well. That's one of the findings of the RGR Don Anderson polls. Vashon Brown now joins us live with the details. And Vashon, exactly what the polls are saying.
Well, first of all, Janella, we interviewed 1,038 people for this poll across the island between February 8 and 18. Now, while the poll shows that many Jamaicans are not pleased with how the government handled recent corruption issues, most Jamaicans do not think the Jamaica Labour Party administration is more corrupt than any previous government. March 20, 2019, Ruel Reid, fired as Education Minister, sacked after a meeting with Prime Minister Andrew Holness. Months later, October 9, 2019, pre-dawn police operations at the former Education Minister's home in Kingston and at the home of the President of the Caribbean Maritime University, Fritz Pinnock, in Portmore St. Catherine. The opposition was talking.
We have information regarding the same set of issues of cronyism, nepotism and corruption, being also present in the Ministry of Education.
Reid, Pinnock and 3 others were charged with various offences last year, including breaches of the Corruption Prevention Act. It's alleged that the former Education Minister and his co-accused defrauded the CMU of more than $55 million and just over $1 million from the Ministry of Education. The Auditor General in January released a report detailing financial irregularities and other weaknesses at the CMU. Between February 8 and 18, Jamaicans were asked whether they thought the government handled the corruption issues at the Ministry of Education and the CMU properly. Just over 4 out of every 10, or 44% of those questioned, said it did not. That's 14 percentage points higher than the 30% of respondents who said the issues at MOE and the CMU were handled well. Jamaicans were also asked specifically about the dismissal of former Education Minister Ruel Reid. More than half of the respondents, or 57%, said they agreed with the Prime Minister's dismissal of the former Education Minister. 25% did not agree. The other 17% either did not know or were not sure.
I don't think so. I think coming after the situation with the former Minister of Science, etc., I think that he was encouraged to act very quickly and very swiftly in this particular situation. And he probably had a lot more information on which to act. But certainly we know when we did a study last year on the Wheatley issue, that there was significant concern that he took too long to make a decision. So I think he was probably prodded by that information to act promptly, swiftly and decisively in the case of Ruel Reid.
The opposition and the government have been debating the issue of who is more corrupt. But is the JLP administration more corrupt than any previous government? When Jamaicans were asked that question, more than half of the respondents, 58%, said no. 25% said yes. The other 18% either did not know or were not sure.
I think they would want to take note of this and really probably take some comfort that they are not perceived to be more corrupt than other previous governments. But 25% is worrying, against the background of the fact that the nation as a whole believe that corruption is a way of life.
In the meantime, Carl Samuda has been given responsibility for the education portfolio since the dismissal of Ruel Reid. But the Prime Minister is the Education Minister. 54% of Jamaicans, that's more than half of the respondents, said they were not satisfied with the temporary arrangements at the Ministry of Education. 25% had a different view. The other 21% either did not know or were not sure. Now, respondents were also asked another question. Who do you think is responsible for the governance issues at the CMU? Now, 14% said the CMU board. Another 11% said the government. 9% said the former Education Minister, Ruel Reid. 7% said the Prime Minister, Andrew Holness, is responsible, while another 4% listed the CMU President, Fritz Pinnock. Now, it's also important to note that 40% of the respondents to this question said they either did not know or were not sure. Now, come tomorrow, we'll look at the PNP presidential elections. You'll hear whether Jamaicans think Peter Bunting's challenge to the PNP president, Dr. Peter Phillips, was good for the party. Then on Monday, party standings will take the spotlight. Janella?
All right, thank you so much, Vashon. We're looking forward to it. Herman?